So, this week has definitely not gone as planned. And if you remember from the last one, we basically were going to run our phase two and our live. Now, it was a bad week. That's not to say that we did anything wrong. Like, we followed our plan, we were strict with it, we traded everything perfectly. So, we traded my live. That was, we traded that for all 5 days. And then we traded my phase two for all 5 days, risking 1%. And then my phase two was risking 0.5%. So in total, the risk for my life was 1%. And then for my phase two was 2%. Because obviously we have our strat requires 2 entries. When it drops down to 5 pips in SL, the second position gets entered. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so let's start off with Monday. So Monday, we took a 2% loss, just went straight to SL. No, not entering TP at all. And then phase two, the second trade on the 3rd, we also took a 2% loss. This one, it shot straight into profit and then just slowly went on a downtrend to slowly eventually hit our SL a few hours later, which was annoying. But we followed a plan. The market just didn't go in the way that we wanted it to, so that was all fine. And then on the 4th, we literally were 3 pips away from take profit, and that would have been a 4.5% win. That would have been max win, which is annoying. So basically, as soon as we entered that trade, went down and then shot straight up. It going down ended us in for our second position. Then it shot up to 37.5 pips and then literally skyrocketed down, which was annoying. Like within 20 minutes, it went from, almost a 20 pip take profit down to a 10 pip SL. Well, 20 pip SL because obviously the second position. So that was rough. That was annoying. Proper kick in the teeth from that one. And then Thursday, we couldn't get an Asia sweep before 10 past 8. So we didn't trade, which was following our strat and everything. We didn't take any trades that day. And then Friday, we took same normal trade. We entered, went a bit in profit, and then just kind of came down a bit, then shot all the way up, and then came down for eventually CPI news wicking us out. But I didn't realize that ACG have changed their rules with their accounts. Max drawdown for phase twos are 8%, same with lives. And I didn't realize that. So obviously risking 1%, I had 300. So I was at 9,300. I was like, that's perfect. I've still got 3% to work with. So obviously I still went for my 2% trade. As soon as that 1%, it kind of just clocked out. Like as soon as the second position was entered and it went into a tiny bit in tiny bit down in the SL, it just closed out and blocked and froze the account. So I lost my phase two. But that's not to say that I was like doing anything wrong. Like I still followed the strat and everything. I was risking the same amount throughout the whole time of trading it. It's just unfortunate that we managed to get a whole week of losses. It doesn't happen often. Like the most losses we have is like 2 and odd ones between 2-3 wins. So it's just been a bad week. These things happen, these weeks happen. Last month we were up 13.5%. In 1 month we've made more than what the S&P 500 would in a year. So, the strat does work. We just got about keeping consistent, and then the results will slowly come to us. So yeah, the live account has about 30 quid left in it. So I'm kind of just doing all or nothing trades with it. So it's a bit rough. We're back at square one, but we know a lot more than we did when we first started. And we'll just build it back up brick by brick. I still have 10 fresh accounts. So we're going to run it up. I think it has gone on a big downtrend since we got our payout denied, which was definitely a massive low. Like if I got that payout, then I definitely would have gone up and up. But because I got denied, and then I ended up making a few mistakes after that, just because head was all mental, like that's kind of caused me to down spiral a bit. But we'll start from fresh. We've got 10 accounts. We'll hopefully pass some of those. We're still trying to work out better, like the best way to run the accounts, whether we just run one of them heavy aggro until that's either passed or failed, or we just run one every day, try and catch like a, win, like, 4% risk for a 1 to 2. That's 8%. So just about finding what we're, like what the set plan is. Because obviously they changed their rules with the max risk, like you can't risk more than 3.5%. So, we've got to play around with it. But yeah, so it's another weekend. We're going to chill, have a weekend to regather our thoughts. I can't trade 2 days next week, Monday, Tuesday, which is absolutely painful because, we've just had a 4-loss streak. So, that's our average loss streak. So if Monday and Tuesday are winners, but I'm opening at work, I'm going to be pissed off because the rest of the week may be losers. So that's why it's kind of rough. So I'm going to have to find a strat for even earlier, like 6:15, 7:15. We have got a strat using DMAs. So we're just about back testing that and trying that and see if that works. Because if that is a viable strat, then we may have to start running that. It is an earlier wake up. 6:15 in the morning. Well, 6 because 15 minutes to actually get out my bed. But it's manageable. But got to work hard if you want to make money, eh? But anyways, that's just the update for this month. Or this week, sorry. Hopefully, next week we have better results. Maybe a phase 2. Or at least some accounts up. That's all we're after. But I'll keep you boys updated. Join the Discord. We've got all the updates, all the trades, all in that. So have a look. See what's useful. But I'll chat to you boys in a bit. Nice catching up with you again, and happy trading.